Thanks for joining us once again, guys, as we take another look at some of the big titles coming our way in 2014. In my first video, I covered Alien Isolation, Watch Dogs, Destiny, Mario Kart 8, and The Evil Within. So if you missed it, I do suggest you hit the rewind button and go and check that video out, because those games are looking fantastic. But, of course, there were simply too many great games to cram into one video alone. So let's take a look at what else is headed our way in 2014. First up, just around the corner, there's a predator on the loose. Yes, that's right, Evolve. So, did you ever play Left 4 Dead? Of course you did. Everyone played Left 4 Dead. And if you didn't, well, now's the time. Because not only is Left 4 Dead itself fantastic, but it will set you up nicely to play Turtle Rock's next game, Evolve. So, from the fantastic minds behind Left 4 Dead, Evolve is another first-person co-op shooter, although this time, the team of 4 won't be taking on the hordes of the undead. No, you're pitted against a lone monster who grows, or rather evolves, the longer a match goes on. Currently nicknamed the Goliath, the longer a game goes on, the monster will grow, becoming bigger and stronger and more capable of dealing damage and taking down that team of 4. Sounds like a really interesting twist on the multiplayer formula, and one that I cannot wait to sink my teeth into when the game is launched on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC this July. Alright, so sticking with the theme of those big bad beasties, the next hot title on our list is the next entry into the popular Dragon Age franchise, Dragon Age Inquisition. Now, I know the news that The Witcher 3 was to be delayed until 2014 hit the gaming community at large extremely badly. But fear not, because we'll be getting our fill of dark fantasy this October with Inquisition. With Inquisition, BioWare is planning on combining the elements from the earlier titles in the series that made them so popular. You know, those deep characters, the really strong writing, good narrative gameplay, all those elements. And they're looking to transplant those into a more open world environment, similar to something that we've seen with Skyrim in the past. Sounding like a great combination, don't you think? And what with fantastic TV shows like the Game of Thrones currently gracing our screens, has it ever been a better time to become a Dragon Slayer? And as if that wasn't enough, we've also had the promise from BioWare that the sex scenes involved in the game are going to be a little bit more tasteful. So okay, awkward fantasy courtships aside, the combination between BioWare's fantastic ability to create a narrative world and interesting characters with the more realistic and engrossing worlds that we've experienced in Skyrim in the past, Inquisition is definitely looking like it's going to be taking the fantasy crown of 2014. But the realm of Theodas, that's where Dragon Age takes place if you didn't know, isn't the only fantasy universe you're going to be able to set yourself loose upon in 2014, because who can forget about Wildstar? Yes, Wildstar is another MMORPG, but containing both a strong element of science fiction and fantasy. But don't let those Disney-style visuals fool you, this game is vicious. So, Wildstar takes place on the recently discovered planet of Nexus. This old planet is littered with some advanced technology that the mysterious Aldan generously left behind before they disappeared. Now it's down to both the Dominion and the Exiles to fight over what's left. Sounding pretty interesting, am I right? Well, you better pick your side just right as well, because the Exiles are a band of rebels and outlaws that are battling against the powerful intergalactic empire, the Dominion. It's a plot that sounds kind of familiar, don't you think? But possibly the most attracting and interesting thing about Wildstar is its war plots. Like most MMORPGs, Wildstar of course features PvP elements, but in war plots, up to 40 different players on each side can do battle against one another. That sounds like carnage. Carnage I cannot wait to jump into when the game is released June 3rd, 2014. But moving on quickly, because that's how the year is going, Super Smash Bros. Is the second Nintendo title to be featured on our list, which I think goes to show just how promising the year is looking for Nintendo and the Wii U. Now, there's already been a glut of characters revealed for the popular beat-em-up franchise, including fan favorites such as the Wii Fit virtual trainer. I cannot wait! There are 2 versions of the game being released for both the Wii U and the 3DS. Now, the character roster will feature on both games, although each title will be getting exclusive stages, add-ons and bonuses depending on which format you buy it for. Super Smash Bros. Series in the past has never failed to disappoint in simple, fun gameplay. But the one that's making this title in particular stand out from the rest, I think, is a character roster that is simply bursting at the seams. Yes, with 29 different playable characters revealed so far, the ability to see Mario, Mega Man, Sonic, and even Charizard all squaring off in the same ring is a mouth-watering prospect. One that is making Super Smash Bros. One of our most anticipated titles of 2014. Now, 3DS owners will be able to jump into the action this summer, but the Wii U unfortunately is going to have to wait until the winter. Although if you are as keen as we are, no doubt you'll be buying both. Okay, things have gotten a little bit too colourful around here, haven't they? So why don't we round out the year and this video by taking a look at what the Dark Knight is going to be getting up to this year. Batman Arkham Knight is the next game to come from the London-based developers Rocksteady Studios, makers of the fantastic Batman Arkham Asylum and City games. So once Alfred's finished brushing the minor blip in the franchise that was Arkham Origins under the rug, let's take a look at Arkham Knight. So the game takes place 1 year after the events of Arkham City, and it's time to take control of the Dark Knight at the peak of his abilities. And he's going to need to be, because Scarecrow is back in town to gather together a merry band of Batman's nemesis, and let's be honest, there's plenty to go around to finally bring the Dark Knight down. Now, the Gotham City in this next Batman game is supposed to be 5 times the size of the one we've seen previously featured in the series. The variety of districts split across 3 separate islands. Now, with a map that large, you are going to need a hand getting around. Enter the Batmobile. Yup, probably the most exciting addition to the Batman formula is the introduction of the Batmobile. Now, this Batmobile, from what we've seen so far, seems to be a combination between the Tumbler that was featured in the Christopher Nolan films and, of course, the more authentic style Batmobile that we've seen from previous works in the franchise. However, sadly, guys, this is set to be the last entry into the Arkham series, so I guess we're just going to have to make the most of it when the game is released on PC and next-gen systems this October. Whew! 2014 is looking like a superb year for gaming, I'm sure you'll agree. And of course, this was just a select few of the many AAA titles coming our way. Of course, and I mean, who can even forget about the indie titles we've got coming up? If you think we've missed anything out, or there are any glaring omissions, or you just want to talk about your most anticipated games in 2014, be sure to comment on both our Facebook and Twitter accounts, or leave your comments in the YouTube section below. I've been Ben Monroe at Expansive, bringing you the biggest games of 2014.